Musicals are always about energy. The compressed energy in that music is transporting.
This season, there seems to be a desire to look back and a desire to look forward at musicals at the same time.
These musicals are completely different, and yet they're connected by one thing: storytelling through lyrics and music.
In a good musical, if you're following the song, you're following the story.
Burn the bridge, bet the store, baby's coming home, no more, not for the life of me.
Thoroughly Modern Millie is the first musical I've written. It's about a small-town girl who decides to come to New York and risk it all. It's about saying, I don't know exactly who or what I want to be, but I'm going to find it.
Canary in a cage for me. This canary's ready to fly free.
I've always been so taken with musical comedies. They seem to me so easy to listen to and so hard to do. You have to keep it going, you have to keep it up all the time. It's keeping something constantly in the air.
The 20s in New York was a crazy time in the city. I felt that was important to show that energy, to find steps that really depict the time.
Once people saw Oklahoma in 1943, they knew that musicals would never be the same again. The whole show was about fighting for territory and fighting for land and people trying to get along. Rodgers and Hammerstein really believed that the plot should be propelled forward with dance and with music. The Dream Ballet was always a part of the production, so I really wanted to seize that opportunity to mesh ballet and musical theater. Every musical this season has learned something from Oklahoma. They have learned how important it is for an audience to follow story.
Welcome to the night. You've been expecting, and you're such a pretty sight.
Sweet Smell of Success is the story of the King of New York, gossip columnist J.J. Hunsaker, and the Crown Prince, Sidney Falco. Sidney has this ferocious need to be recognized.
Garbo, Brando, Harlow, Falco!
In the case of Sweet Smell of Success, every character walks into every scene wanting something ferociously. That's a feast for a writer.
I will put down for Craig the basis of the song. He puts the lyric to it, and it makes it sound as if the lyrics came first.
Dirt. It's the reason I read. Dirt. It's an animal need.
Scenes and characters have a certain, in my opinion, sound. You come in with those kind of feelings about somebody, and then basically you start to translate them into music.
The sound of the score is hot, vital jazz. The whole metaphor of the show is that it's set at nighttime, and I think jazz naturally evokes nighttime.
Musical theater is a made-up world, but clearly the fairy tale world allows you to take liberties in certain ways. When James and I first met, one of the first things we talked about was the cow. And I said, James, we've got to have a dancing cow.
How's it feel? It feels amazing.
I just thought, oh, this is just going to really charm the pants off of all of us, and it really makes the fairy tale world come alive.
I happen to respond with a little bit more fervor to dark themes.
Who are you in the other hours when your hair's undone and your guard's let down?
Thou Shalt Not is a story of murder and adultery and jealousy and passion. That's where my melodies and my lyrics came from. And it was a challenge for me to sort of capsulize some of those things in a song.
When they were at their peak in the British charts, I hated ABBA.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist you?
I think the concept of Mamma Mia is a bit cheeky because we are taking these existing songs and trying to create a story out of it.
The winner takes it all.
You have the songs about broken romance and loneliness. And then you have the songs about falling in love for the first time. I always felt something lies behind the lyrics, and that was great fun for me because I was able to be the one who gave those songs the story.
Urinetown is about a town where water is so scarce that people have to pay to pee.
The politicians taxed the toilets and made illegal public urination and defecation.
I understood that it was a bad idea for a show, but at the same time I sort of became obsessed with it, thinking that this is completely new territory. Nobody's done a show like this.
What is Urinetown? Urinetown's a tool, an instrument of power to enforce my iron rule.
Craig had the skepticism about musicals. I had a love of musicals, and I always think that that tension between us always resulted in what you see on stage now.
Someday I'll meet someone whose heart joins with mine. Aortas and arteries all intertwined.
There are no trained dancers in Urinetown. I gave the actors dance steps to do that I knew that they actually couldn't do. And it's the attempt, it's actually watching them try to do these steps every night that is thrilling for the audience. There's something visceral inside of all of us that musicals touch.
The force of the music starts to head straight for the heart.
The real meat and potatoes of a musical is that song that grabs you and says, this is part of you, you're in this. Those are the songs that make me wish that I could write 100 shows before I died.